Hello, I'm Colin Marchand, and I'll be your host today on Inside the Filmmaker Studio. Today we'll be exploring the skills and tactics of two different filmmakers, Robert, a freshman at Menlo Atherton, and Laura, a senior at Palo Alto High School. And Robert and Laura have been making films for a very long time. Robert's been making home movies with his family and friends since he's told me he was 3. And Laura, also a dedicated fellow filmmaker, has been involved at the Media Center for 2 years and founded the Pally Filmmaking Club. How are you guys?
Great, thank you.
Yeah, good. Excited to be here.
Good. So how did you guys start filmmaking? So I'll ask you first.
Well, freshman year, I was doing theater, and I've been doing theater for many years. And I realized I really preferred to be behind the stage rather than being on the stage. And I realized that maybe theater wasn't the right thing for me. And I realized that film was more of like the technical aspects, and they had a lot in common, so I got really interested. And I realized, I learned when I was looking through the course manual that Pally taught, there's a video class, so I decided to take it. So I took beginning video, and I just loved it. And I went to film camps after that, and I became really involved with a whole bunch of film clubs and after school film activities.
Great. How about you?
Well, I started when I was kind of 3. I'm not sure if this counts, but I was in Hawaii, and I'm not sure if anybody has ever seen The Crocodile Hunter. But I wanted to be like him, so I had my dad follow me around with a video camera, and I looked for lizards and other animals and stuff like that. And so that was my first exposure, and I just kind of loved that aspect of it.
So how did that develop into you as a filmmaker?
Well, for a while, it didn't develop. I just had my dad follow me around, and then after a couple of years, I realized that what I liked so much about it was not necessarily being in front of the camera, although as fun as it is to be the center of attention, it's more the being behind the camera that I love. I love how you can kind of create your own world and kind of manipulate what people see.
Interesting. So what are you guys' favorite part or favorite aspect of the whole filmmaking process, which is much, much bigger than maybe our audience knows it to be?
Well, I don't really like pre-production that much.
So what is pre-production?
That's like coming up with your idea, storyboarding it, just kind of getting the general ideas down and planning where you're going to shoot, who you're going to shoot, like the whole shebang, basically getting everything set up. I mean, I find that part really difficult, and it requires a lot of ideas. I like more of the filming because at that point you already have all your basics down, and then you go there and you'll like have a shot or something and just be like, wow, this is so much fun, this is amazing, and it's just so exciting.
Yeah.
And then I like the end couple days of editing because it's actually, you're like this mess of footage, it's actually becoming something, and it's really exciting to see that you actually are able to do something.
Yeah. What about you, Rob?
I really love the creativity aspect.
Huh.
Like I'm working on this thing right now I call it Analyst.
Yeah.
And I've written the script for it, and I plan on editing it, and I'm working with a couple other people, you namely. So that's pretty cool. I really love creating stories and stuff like that. Like I said, how you can manipulate what people see and make them think different things.
Right. So kind of building up on that, if you had any choice as a job in the film industry, what would you pick?
Not craft services. For those of you who don't know, craft services is basically food. I think I'd really like to be a director, even though that seems like a really stressful position to be in. But you watch these movies, like yesterday, I watched the bonus features of She's the Man. And there was basically a whole bunch of stuff about the director, and it was really cool because the director was like part of the cast and like part of every aspect. I thought that was really interesting. Really difficult, but so rewarding.
Oh yeah. What about you?
Director, but like she said, that's a lot of stress. So also, director of photography or
So can you explain what that is?
Well, it's kind of what it sounds like. I mean, you're directing the camera, the kind of shots, so that you can enable what the actual director wants to happen. And one other thing, I wouldn't mind being like a screenplay writer. I really love doing that.
So you like
too.
the pre-production aspect?
Yes.
Cool. Cool. So what are your guys' favorite either film, well, first of all, director, if you like one specific director, or your favorite films? Like what genres do you like?
I really like Chris Nolan.
Chris Nolan.
Memento, Inception. That's all fun. I really like, I like a lot of directors, but basically Chris Nolan.
Any favorite movies or genres?
Oh my goodness, so many, it's ridiculous. I actually really like Memento. See, I have like two different types of movies. I like my good old chick flick. I have like Penelope, great movie. She's the Man, I watched it yesterday. And then I also like my film movies. So, Run Lola Run, Memento, like the real movies, ones that I'm not really embarrassed to tell people I like.
What about you, Robert?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
So if you have a favorite director or film or genre of film.
Not really director, because I feel like biased if I like one director, because a good film can come from anywhere. But I do have a couple favorite films. I think my main one is Brick, which is a great film. And yeah.
All right, so I believe we have some of your movies in the studio.
Yes.
So I think we're going to start with Robert's. Do you want to give a quick summary of what your movie is?
It's from the heart. It's called One Simple Thing. It's about this brother and how he kind of takes care of his younger brother.
Oh.
You'll see.
Great. All right, well, let's roll the clip.
Hey, so this is my little brother Jake, and we're about to go on a hike here at Foothills. It's one of my favorite places here. The weather's kind of choppy, but I mean, I think it's going to be fun. Right, Jake?
Yeah. That?
Oh, that bridge down there?
Yeah.
I don't know, there are a lot of ticks down there, Jake.
It looks cool. Across that bridge, it looks cool.
He's not coming off. Map of where we are. So these are different trails, right?
So
this
where
is the lake.
Fern Loop Trail?
Fern Loop Trail. That one is, let's see, I believe
It's a trail with
Fern Loop Trail is right there. This is actually a back It's pretty much very My name is Robert. I am 14 years old and have a younger brother named Jacob. He's 7 years old. I discovered that being a good older brother is about one simple thing: making time to share experiences.
All right, so we just saw Robert's movie. So tell us a little bit about how, kind of the process of making this movie.
Well, we were pressed on time. It's actually something that I made with the stuff here. I took a class called Zoom In. It's a really great class, and I recommend it, but that's beside the point. The point is, I don't know, I was talking with my dad, and he likes wholesome stories, unlike me. So we decided to do one about my brother, and the Foothills Park was available, and nobody seemed to be doing anything on that. So we were like, this is a good place to kind of have a connecting story between two brothers, and so that's what we did.
How old's your brother?
He's 7 years old.
Oh. So how long did it take to make this movie?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of planning that went into it. The actual filming, I mean, we filmed it in less than a day. But because I had ideas that were a little bit more gruesome and had nothing to do with brothers, it took a week about between the 2 weekends for my dad to convince me to do a good story. And not to say that I don't come up with good stories, but it's not always wholesome.
Interesting. And so, what was your favorite part about producing this movie?
My favorite part, if I'm going to be completely honest, when we entered it into the Zoomies, I came here and they had food. but I think one thing I really loved, and that this is true, is I got to spend a little bit more time with my brother, which I normally don't.
Good answer.
So that was really nice too.
That's great. So, did you overcome any obstacles in filming this? Were there any problems with filming?
Yes, it was raining half the time.
That's always fun.
Which actually it was weird because I watched it and it came out looking like it was kind of sunny some of the parts.
Yeah.
So it was weird. Like the clouds were dark the entire time, and so yeah. So that was an obstacle we had to overcome. We had to wait like an hour before we could start shooting.
So you're planning on making another movie, which I'm a part of, but do you want to kind of explain what you're trying to do with that movie? And
yeah, I'd be happy to. Obviously, I can't say too much because I want to leave the movie to kind of explain itself.
Yeah.
But it's about these two kind of kids, well, not kids, they're teenagers, who and you got to suspend your disbelief here a little bit because obviously, two teenagers are not going to be solving a murder mystery, but that's what it's about. And it's a comedy and also a mystery. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but a lot of people ask me, and I know this had nothing to do with what you were just saying, how can you have a murder mystery that's a comedy? And I honestly don't know how I managed it. I tried to make it pretty slapstick. So I think it's the banter between the characters that makes it funny.
interesting. And so, what stage are you of producing it?
Pre-production. We're about to do casting, so I've had a hold up there because MA won't let me cast there. But
Really?
yeah. But Pally hopefully should, and you'll see flyers around there. So if anybody's watching this and is interested in that, please, take a look.
And so it sounds like you've had some obstacles, and it's great that you're overcoming them. But so Laura, I understand that you made a movie recently, which I helped you also with. Do you want to explain it?
So it's a comedy, as you were saying, except it's not murder. It's about how to create a good studio show.
Which we're doing right now.
Which we are making a studio show right now.
A good studio show.
A good studio show. So basically it's about basically all things that could go wrong, or how to make the bad decisions, with hosts, for example. And it's just, it's hopefully very funny, but I think it turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
And yeah.
All right. Well, let's roll the short film.
All right, Jackie, thanks so much for being here today. As you got from my memo, Channel 173 in Myrtle Beach gave us an hour of time on their station next month, so we just gotta hustle and get our show ready to go. Thank you, everyone else, for being here. I really hope we can make the show a winner.
Well, you know, Bobby, I think the most important part of a show is finding a good host.
I cannot agree more. You know, if you have a good host, your show's gonna be golden, no matter what you're talking about.
So true. So true.
Exactly.
So tell us about yourself.
I'm a great producer, man.
Host. That apple is plastic, sir.
That one's plastic.
They're all fake apples.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It was great to meet you. Thank you for coming.
It was really great.
Yeah, it was really
Oh yeah, it was nice meeting you guys too.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell. I have feelings about people sometimes, and I'm getting it right now.
I like him.
I think he's a character, but I think that's what we need for our show. All right, so I think we need to talk about sets. I mean, you know this as well as I do. Every talk show that's a hit has a beautiful set. All right, Oprah's is a great one.
Oh,
the couches, I mean, it just looks so comfortable. You
I
just
don't
wanna,
understand.
You just want to curl up and cuddle Oprah while she's talking.
So true. So
Yeah.
true. I love it.
So I was thinking, and hear me out on this, because it's a little different. But, all right, first of all, I want rainbows painted on the background. And then in the front, foreground, duck pond, real live ducks, some mallards, some swans maybe even.
I like it. I like it.
Okay.
Or we could have hand chairs.
Hand chairs are always a hit. They create the illusion that the talent is being grabbed by a force from below.
Awesome.
So if I understand correctly, you want a live studio audience?
Yes, I think you need a lot of really enthusiastic people. That way, you know, it just propels the show into greatness.
Okay, well, you're in luck that you came to me. I know how to promote. I once brought a little band called Boys to Men here to Myrtle Beach. I know how to get people out. I'll go through my connections, put some feelers out. There will be a huge audience here on show day.
Nice. You know what else we need? We need an interesting guest.
Oh, absolutely.
So my sister's best friend's sister's gardener is a really interesting person.
Okay, what's so interesting about her?
I don't know.
Okay, sounds great.
And this is my guest. She's a farmer, I think. That's okay. So, have you ever gardened for the rich and famous? What kind of things do you like gardening? I can't deal with this!
All right, listen. Listen, I know this is a lot to think about, but I've done this a lot. We're going to be prepared for anything on show day. Everything and everything's going to be covered. It's all going to be great.
Yeah, we definitely will be ready for anything.
Absolutely. This is going to be the best staff that a free ad on Craigslist can buy.
Wieder zur Kamera 1 zurück.
So, how you doing? So you speak German, huh?
Das ist richtig.
Jim is awesome.
I'll try.
Oh well. So, what are you doing? You excited about this movie?
And I truly believe that one of the most important things in a show like this is a dynamite ending. All right, powerful music swelling up,
People crying. I could see it.
tight, beautiful graphics, and just a clean sign off by the
Everybody will
host.
be crying. I can totally see it.
Yeah, it'll be perfect.
So you're not gonna talk? Okay. I guess that's all for tonight, guys.
Blake, we have 5 more minutes.
Okay.
Well, I just can't wait to do this. This is going to be the best show ever. And, you know, I don't want this to get around, but the guy at the station told me if it goes well, there might be some network executives watching.
It's gonna work. It's gonna
It's
work.
going to be beautiful.
All right, so we just watched your movie that you directed. So how did you come up with the idea for this movie?
So in video production, advanced video production, which you're in, as you helped me with this film, as we did this film together, actually. It was our assignment to make a comedy. Well, the official title was 10 Ways of Knowing. We did not quite do 10 ways. We kind of took a little spin on it. But basically that means you take something like how to win teachers' affection, and you go, step 1, you know, never show up to class or something, you know, and then you'd film something. So basically you do 10 steps like that. So that was our model. And then we went from there and we're like, we want to make a studio show. And then we took away the 10 ways and we made just like a spine instead.
Interesting. So what is a spine?
It's like footage that that links all the film together. So that's, for example, well, me and the other guy sitting across the table from me, Brad, when we're sitting at the table, that's the spine of the show because it goes throughout the entire show and like the rest of the clips cut into there.
Okay. And what was your favorite part of filming this movie?
Of filming it?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was really fun the day we filmed. I think we had a lot of fun. We really got a lot of freedom with what we got to say since we didn't have set dialogue. So we definitely got to try out a lot of different, you know, things that we could say, and it was really fun just to, you know, talk about cuddling with Oprah on a couch, you know.
Yeah. So did you face any big obstacles while producing while producing this movie?
You know, I was told last minute I was going to act, which of course I was like, okay, I guess. But I mean, we didn't have anything like monster size. But I mean, we had a few little like, oh my gosh, the camera's not working, it's out of batteries kind of moments. But I think overall, I mean, do you think of anything?
Well, tell us about what happened in post-production.
Oh, well, post-production was another story. During the actual filming, it was okay. But post-production, so we edited on Final Cut, and we were going through all of our footage, and we realized that every single clip was off with the audio, and for some reason in the middle of the audio, it would just like would repeat something. So I'd be in the middle of saying something, I'd be in the middle of saying something, I'd be in the middle of saying something, and just like repeat the same part over and over again. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And we had to go and fix it all and sync it, which took forever because we were using multiple cameras. And then we tried to move it to another computer, and that didn't work either because everything got way messed up, and we had to go back to the original computer, which was just like a disaster. But it all came together at the end.
Yeah. And so if this movie had kind of like a behind-the-scenes extra movie, what would you think would be in it? What were some fun like stories or something that you had while filming?
Well, a few of them are actually in the film itself. For example, there's a scene at the end where I get a little high five, and the high five really hurt my hand. And then you hear afterwards, ow, because my hand really hurts.
So that wasn't scripted.
That was not scripted. That was my hand really hurting. Thanks, Brad. Let's see, what else? Well, see, there's a clip that got cut from the final that you saw of German swearing, which was pretty funny. And there was like multiple takes with different things happening, and it was fun.
All right, so great. So I have a few more questions to ask you. One, as a filmmaker, if a studio noticed how awesome you guys are at filmmaking and said, we're going to give you $2 million to produce a show wherever you want with any actors, you have so much money you can throw this money at the actors, where would you shoot it? Who, if you want to produce it, who would you want to direct? Like, what is your dream team of making a movie?
Well, I love musicals. I would totally get Joss Whedon. And for those who don't know, Joss Whedon did Buffy, Dr. Horrible Sing-Along Blog. Maybe Chris Nolan will be with him. Totally different. You know, postmodern plus musical. Equals amazing. And then there would be underwater.
Where underwater?
Anywhere. Alaska. Underwater.
Okay.
And they'll be like singing underwater, and it will totally work, and it'll be awesome.
Awesome. What about you?
I would probably film in Florida.
Ooh.
I think, and I'd kind of base it on Burn Notice. I don't know. If you've seen that show. But I'd make it a little bit more funny. Well, there's actually already a Burn Notice movie. Yeah. It's actually a good movie, but it has nothing to do with. Well, it does kind of. But that's not the point. Yes, I would do it in Florida, and I would make it. I honestly love watching comedies.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that's what a lot of people enjoy. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our show for tonight. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. Thank you, and remember, it's always easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Always hurts.
All right. Good night, folks.
My favorite
I did.
TV
I had to
shows.
fight it in there.